So today we will see HTML helper. Till now we have used normal controls, and directly we can print the data on a browser by using table tags. Now we will use HTML helper controls, which was added newly in a HTML file. So HTML helper, it is a class which provides some set of methods. To create a form. So now these HTML helper controls are similar to web server controls. But only thing is that is running it on the server, but whereas here it will be a lightweight process.
I couldn't hear properly, ma'am.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah. What did you say? The web control server or server-side controls?
Server-side controls. It will be HTML helpers also, same as web server controls. Okay, but only thing is it is lightweight.
Okay, got it.
And these HTML helper controls are divided into two types. One is untyped helper class. And the second one is a typed helper class. And what is untyped and what is typed, we can understand. So here, untyped, you know already, break tags, and we cannot define any type. So here, untyped are nothing but which cannot be binded. To any model property. And that is what we call it as untyped helper class. Example, @HTML dot, and we can use method name, and whatever the control, we can define the control name. HTML dot text box. Name. So it will create a text box control. And if we want password box, same thing. Instead of this text box, we can simply say password. So it will create a password type of box. Generally, in ASP.NET, we can give text mode as password. Like that, if you want any checkbox, then simply we can say HTML dot checkbox. If it is radio button, HTML dot radio button. Grouping of the radio buttons will be based on name, and whatever the value will be there, that we can assign like this. 2 or 3 radio buttons are there, so this is, we call it a group name, and this is value. So like this we can assign some collection of elements as a list items, something like a drop down list, a list box. So we can simply HTML dot list box, and here name, and what element that is available in the collection, select list, where the data is available, that we can assign. So this allows the user to select controls, which we can be binded to the property called as typed HTML controls. And here we can assign what type of data is coming. Same thing, but extra is lambda expressions like link you type. At the rate HTML dot name, not a control name. Here we can define expression. This is what we call it as an inline function, which we can represent in the form of lambda. Lambda means goes to, tends to, like this operators we can use. That is what we call as lambda expression. And if you want to bind any data to any control, we can simply say HTML dot so here we can assign something like the text box within brackets, variable name. This variable name is going to get some value, something like name dot property. So it will create a text box basically. This is up to untyped. We don't know what type of data is binding. Just a control creation, that is called as untyped. Now whereas here it is typed. HTML text box, not only creating the text box control, from here to here it will create text box control. Now here we are assigning some data. So this is what we call it as a control is going to bind to the model object property. So once any control is bind to the property, the input will be assigned to the property and validations, and we can apply implicitly. We can write like this: HTML dot text box for HTML dot password box for if we are going to apply any validation message, whatever error message that we need to display, we can simply say that HTML dot validation message for. So like this. So now we can understand what is typed and what is untyped, right? So typed is nothing but we are giving the control as well as we are binding the data. Untyped means only creation. So control is label, control is text box, control is a button, and control is a text box. Okay, password box, all these things. And if you want to create a control, whatever editor is here. Editor for. And that editor is generally compose mail. Once we can click on compose, then italics will come, bold will come, underline will come. All these things, what we call it as editor. The editor will be going to accept not only text character, and it can be accepted even special characters, something like bullets, and text box, large, small, and some colors, all the things. Okay, and now we can understand what is the difference between a normal text box and the editor. Example, notepad. So whatever we are typing, all these plain text. So this notepad area is text box. And if you can open a Word document and apply some colors, some bullets, shapes, all the things. So that is what we call it as editor. Okay. And if you want to display any items, something like input type equal to, and what we can say, submit. So this is the submit button. Okay. Like that we can create a font. Okay. Add one new item. Directly we can select the model class. Now here in the property, this is customer name, images, add controller, Now here we can apply the page is body, and now at the rate using. Now we can assign resources. Resources means HTML dot begin form. Write open form tag to the response to the post method, and request is processed by the action method. So now here we can say begin the form. So what is a form? We can say store. Now action name is store. Now what are the controllers? Controller name is home. Now once we have assigned the controller, then form method name. You want post the data or you want get the data. So this is what we call it as form method is post. Form method. This is a controller and this is a method and this is what type of data. Now inside we can assign div tag, whatever background color you need it, you can assign. Width is 50%. Now here name. That name HTML text box. And now we can give what is the text box name. TXT username. And then I can make it one break tag. Now, what type of room they needed, they can select. The room type is @HTML dot radio button. That radio button is deluxe room or day one, radio button one, comma. Where is the value? The value we can say simply deluxe. And the display text for the radio button is deluxe. And the same we can assign another one. This is for ordinary. And now we can check the checkbox of amenities. Ordinary. And you can assign some amenities. Checkbox checked. CHK1. Now last we can assign a button. Now we can close the deal. Now in this particular home controller, this is the model. The model is customer. Now we can say if before that we can catch the negatives. This method we have written in this index page here, begin form. That form is pointing to the method. So now here in this particular controller, we have written this method, and inside this method creating an object for this. Now we can bind. What is the names? CHQ. Request.form. In that particular form, the value of the checkbox is this. If it is checked, true will come. If it is not checked, false will come. This one you can understand here. Below errors it is not showing, no? And this. Name can be simplified.